Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So I posted a video on my TikTok. So a friend of mine said I should make a video on how I went about the drafting and the cutting of that particular video. So here today I'm going to show us how I did the drafting. And again, I'm going to start my drafting from the beginning from my basic bodies measurements, the vertical and the horizontal lines. So for the sake of the beginners, okay, first off, I'm going to mark out 1 inch. That is my shoulder line. Okay, so from the shoulder line, I'm working with my measurements. So when doing yours, also work with your measurements, okay? So first of all, I'm going to get my half length. When doing yours, work with your own measurements. I'm going to get my half length. And next, I'll be getting my chest line. My bust points. Under bust line. Okay. So I'm going to duplicate the line so that I'll be able to get a straight line here. So after that, I'm going to mark what each line stands for. This is my shoulder line, my chest line, bust points, under bust, and here is my half length. I want to retake this measurement to be accurate. Okay, so on my shoulder line, I'm going to put the half of my shoulder measurement here. Work with your own measurements, okay? And the neck width I'm working with is 3 inches. Okay. So I'm still going to take my shoulder measurements at my chest line. Then I'll mark it into a straight line. So from the shoulder line, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. And I'll connect it to my neck width. Okay. So what next we're going to do, I'm going to impute my nipple to nipple measurements. My nipple to nipple measurement is 7 inches, and 7 inches divided by 2 is 3.5. So work with your measurement like I said earlier. So now I'm going to impute my nipple to nipple measurements, 3.5 plus 0.5 inch making 4 inches. So I'm going to mark it from the bust points on the bust and the half length, which is the waistline. Okay. All right. So this is a v-neck. Depending on how low you want the v to be, so I'll be working with 7 inches for the v-neck. I'll be working with 7 inches. You can work with 8 inches. You can work with any inches you feel like, okay, that won't show your cleavage outside. So work with any inches you feel like. You can work with 8 inches. Okay, better still, I will work with 7.5 inches. Okay, so here is it. Then what next we're going to do, you mark in your dart legs, so which is for you getting your cup. Every bust size with its own cup. Okay, so likewise me, I fall into the category of those that have small boobs. All right, so the dart legs I'll be working with is 1.5 inches. Okay, so that 1.5 inches I'll be dividing it by 2. So 1.5 inches divided by 2 is 0.75. So I'm going to mark the 0.75 at the right leg side and at the left leg side. Okay, so from my under bust, 0.75 to the wrist, to the half length. Okay, so I'll connect into a straight line. All right, so what next we're going to do here, after that you're going to put in your basic, the quarter of your bust measurement and the quarter of your waist measurement. Okay, I have a very tiny waist, so work with your own measurements. Okay, so now we are going to replace this dart intake here, which is 1.5. We're going to replace it here at the waistline. All right, so after that we're going to put the inches of allowance you want to use to stitch your clothes. You can use 2 inches, you can use 1.5, you can use 2.5. So I'm going to use 2 inches, okay, for my sewing allowance. All right, so after that, now it's time for us to take the corpse. Okay, so with the help of this ruler here, you're going to, hope you're seeing what I'm doing. Hope you're seeing what I am doing. Okay, with the help of this ruler, um, let me look for the other one. Okay, I have two of this ruler here. If you don't have this, you can make use of this. Okay, let's assume we're working with this. So you place your ruler this way to meet the under bust line. Can you see? So you curve it out this way to meet your the your neck depth. Okay, so let me use this ruler to do it and see which one would be better. Okay, can you see this? So for this part, we are going to start the covering from here. You can as well come down excuse me, you can as well come down by 1 inch from your chest line. You can as well come down by 1 inch. You can connect starting from your bust points, you get, and you can as well start the curve from your chest line. Okay, so using your curve ruler, you curve it this way to meet your under bust line. Can you see this? Good. So here is it. If you feel that, okay, let me use this ruler to recurve this part here. Okay, you can all see that this other ruler, it gave enough room for the boobs to sit in. Okay, depending on if you have a big boobs. Okay, I will advise you use this pattern master hair. But if you're someone like me that does not have big boobs, oh my goodness, I don't know if you're going to wear God we're sharing boobs. So you can use this. Anyways, you can use any ruler of your choice, okay? So I'm going to clean up this line. Alright. So guys, after that, let me cut out this part so that we won't be confused on what we're doing here. Alright guys, so I've cut out this damn part. So now moving on. Then at this I've added half an inch for shoulder joining. So at this point here, from the bust point, you're going to use a curve ruler to connect from that your bust point to meet your under bust, okay? Just this way. You can see this. And you do the same to the other side. Okay. So from your shoulder line, guys, from the part you came down 1 inch, okay, for the shoulder slope, you're going to measure what you're having there. We are having 7 inches. 7 inches divided by 2 is 3.5. So you mark it out, and from that 3.5, you're going to come in by half an inch. So from there, you're going to connect these 3 dot lines together, okay? Okay, so you can see. Then before I proceed to cut out this pattern drafting here, before I proceed to cut it out, I'm going to add half an inch seam allowance on my arm origin, okay, for the joining of the sleeve. Okay, so I'm going to do just that. So guys, I'm done with the drafting. You can all see I'm done with it. So it's high time to cut this out. I've added half an inch sewing allowance at the arm origin. So if you want to cut this out, you start your cuttings from this line here. You cut it this way, stop here. You do the same thing, you stop here. Before I connect these both lines, I came down 1 inch from my bust point. I came down 1 inch from my bust point before I connect these lines. Okay, so you're going to stop your cutting at that 1 inch there. Okay, you can as well start your taking the lines, the measurements from the bust points. Okay, so you can see if you take the line from the bust point, you can cut up to the bust point. Okay, there is no problem about that. You can cut up to the bust point and you can stop it 1 inch below your bust point. All right, so we're going to cut it out this way, like this. Then we follow out this line. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, hope you get what I'm doing here. So we'll cut out this part this way. So hope you see what we have here. There's it. Okay, so let's proceed on our cutting. Let's cut out this part. Okay guys, so here is it. Hope you can see this. This is how I cut it. Okay, so now by the time you're going to join this, by the time you cut this on your material, you're going to add half an inch seam allowance up here. You do the same thing here. You do the same thing here as well, and you do the same thing here. You add half an inch here, you add half an inch here also. Okay, so you close up this dart you're having here, you close it up with half an inch. Okay, you close it up with half an inch. So by the time you close it up, you can see how deep here is. You can accommodate the boobs. You can see that you close it up with half an inch. All right, so that's all for the tutorial on how I cut it. So guys, hope my explanation is well understood. If it seems not to understand any, just leave your comment in the comment section and I will dare to put you through. Bye guys.